Are you alright? We have to have springtime also. It's a part of the whole cycle for me. Very good. I've had to. Sugar. Alright. Thank you. That's all. No sugar. People are expressing SahajaYoga, no doubt, when they talk, when they write, when they express themselves. You can see very clearly that they are expecting some sort of breakthrough, sort of they have reached a certain frantic condition in which they expect there has to be something. Otherwise, how can they explain the creation? How can they explain God? How can they explain that there is some force which is looking after them? So everybody is expecting some sort of a breakthrough. Not only that, but there is also a search for a breakthrough. You can see that very clearly everywhere. But the trouble is, you see, one has to understand that it is God's job, not yours. That it is to be done by God, not by you. That is very difficult to accept. But when we accept our own life as a human being, we should know that we became human beings by ourselves or by God. We could not become human beings ourselves from amoeba stage, can we? Can any amoeba try to become even a turtle? Cannot. So how did we become human beings? By some sort of a force or some sort of an energy or some sort of a guiding hand which brought forth this happening that we became human beings. And in the same way, if you have to become superhuman beings, or we have to become something else more than this, or our awareness has to achieve something more, it has to happen. Only thing, if we had not spoiled ourselves, our own being, it is perfectly all right. There's no need to do anything extraordinary. Because in this frantic search, we might ruin ourselves. We might ruin our instruments which are within us. Because there is an undercurrent within us which works out all these things. Like the seed, it has its own premium. In the same way, there is something within you also, please, which will work it out. But when you try to do something about it, it gets spoiled. This is a very simple thing, but we cannot get out of the idea because we exist in this world. We think by our efforts. We think we do this, that's why we exist. But do we? See these flowers. How do they come up? What is the effort you have done to create them? See, we do something dead. We do not do anything living. We cannot do anything living. Now just look at this. What living thing have we done? Nothing at all. Everything that is dead, we are converting into different forms. Say, a tree is dead, so we make a furniture. We think, oh, we are great, we have done this furniture. It's from dead to dead. What living work have you done? Once we realize that, we've done nothing living, so the living God has to do it. He has to do it. And He will do it through His own agency, His own way. He is not going to make you do it. But He has never asked you to do anything. Why should He now trouble you? He has created you in His own love. This beautiful universe He has created for you to enjoy. But this is all a brainwash as long as you do not have the sensitivity to enjoy. But the sensitivity is lost. Moreover, the sensitivity which is lost has to be again manifested in a different way to really absorb the beauty, the joy that God has created. It's a very delicate instrument which lies within you. They have told you that it is called as Pullar. Of course, they have played havoc with it. You know that. They have really made a mess out of this word Kundalini. They have ruined, completely ruined. And that's how they have ruined your inner being. shocking. It's really shocking. And in your frantic search, you also believe these horrible people who are just out to ruin you. These people have no relationship with reality. They don't know who is Christ. They don't know who is Muhammad. They don't know who is Nana. They don't know anything about the great incarnations who came on this earth. They don't want to talk about it. There is no relationship. There is no historical background to what they are saying. After all, if there's a tree, and everything living comes in a process. This has a history. It was a seed first, then it grew up to this stage. And even a seed has a history, that it was a fruit and then a flower. So when these people just start talking to you offhand, without any relationship to the historical background or to the, you can say, to the surroundings, they are just, in English language you can say, they are talking nuts. But why do we believe it? Because they have something in them. They control us. Now you have your own conceptions about God. That God should be like this, God should be like that. This conception is your own. How is it your own? How do you say that God should be like this or like that? What is your idea? Why do you decide that God should be like this? What is your basic? Ask questions to yourself. Then it will be easy for you to understand. What is your basic purpose? What have you read about God? Whose books have you read? Can you discriminate between a person who is real or who is unreal? Time has one very great advantage, that in history you can find out that time curbs down everything that is false. Everything that is false is curbed down. And whatever real remains. Like about Christ, you see. When he lived, how people just did. They said, you know what things they have said against him. And they crucified him. Now they have the biggest problem, how to explain his resurrection. Who has asked them to explain? And why should you explain? What is the need to explain his resurrection? He was resurrected because he was very different from you people are. He was not a human being. You cannot even explain how a flower becomes a fruit, which you see every day, can you? You cannot even say why there is gravity in the earth. From where did it come in the Mother Earth? Can you explain? You cannot explain anything whatsoever through your science. Tell me any why of anything you cannot explain. Then how can you explain the resurrection of Christ? But you want to explain that. If you cannot explain, then you stand on two ways. Either you say that, no, it's not true. It is not so. How can you? I met some very foolish people in Argentina. They said, why was Christ poor? Why did he take birth as a poor man? I said, who are you to decide about it? I mean, he will take his birth according to his own wish because he is fully free. This we cannot understand, you know. Human beings cannot understand the full free personality because they are not. but anywhere he wants to take. He can do whatever he likes with himself because he is fully free, and in all his freedom, whatever he does is for the good of the whole. While when we are free, we'll do something that will be absolutely nasty and maybe very much destroy the whole. Because our freedom is still very relative. We have no sense of judging a person. Not at all. Because we are not even realized. At least that should happen to human beings, where they achieve a sense of freedom, which is absolute. So they have a problem. What is the resurrection of Christ? Let us explain. Let us understand. One way, as I told you, is just to say that we cannot explain, so it's all wrong. You shouldn't believe in him. He was just like that. You shouldn't believe in any incarnation. He was no good. Resurrection is falsehood. It was all a myth. So we feel very happy about it. We have been very honest. When you do not know the whole truth, what is the sense of your honesty and dishonesty? Say, I do not know this house, how it looks like. Alright? Then I should say, I do not know. That's being alright. But then to form a complete idea about this house, even denying it. See, denying it means you are not honest. So this is one way of looking at it, especially the intelligence. You see. It makes you think like that. And you think you have been very rational. But rationality, if it is of that much limited, so egocentric as you can call it, which cannot see things beyond, is no rationality. Why doesn't the rationality claim that perhaps he was resurrected because there was something special about him which we could not understand? Rationality should see things that happen which rationality cannot explain. Like as I said, a tree having flowers and then becoming fruit. A tree that is a mango tree will give you mangoes, and a rose bush will give you roses, and the birds that are cuckoo birds will sing the way they are. What is the rationality behind it? Why do they do that? What is their place in this universe? Through rationality, you can recognize one thing, that rationality is very limited. It cannot cross the barriers, the limitations of understanding. second style is, then we don't believe in, then it's all right. He was resurrected, all right. He was resurrected, all right. So believe in Christ, we believe in Him. So we believe in Him. We don't believe in anything else, we just believe in Him. Now, even if Christ comes and stands before you and says that I am Christ now, see for yourself, you are not going to believe it. No, we believed in the Christ who was crucified because you were not there. Who were there never believed it. But when He comes back and says, no, I am here sitting before you, now you try to recognize me and find out if I am Christ or not. So then we say that, how can that? We just believe in Christ who died. Now He's finished. Now what do we do with it? This is another style. So we get two extremes. You can say is one side is fanaticism. It is insane, awkward and very detrimental for human growth. And when you turn away from that, from one swing to another, you go to the other side, where you start feeling, oh, how can we believe it? So we do not believe it. So this is the thing. In between these two, today we stand. In many countries, all over the world, all the young people are awakened to this fact that fanaticism is something stupid. So they are moving to the other side, towards the rationality, the intellectualism. But a simple thing one should understand. Does rationality give you joy? It is so dry. You go on building words after words. At the end you are tired, fagged out, jittery. You have had a discussion with an intellectual, say, twice or thrice. You are finished. Better go to a pub. You build up tension. And really you become jittery. I was just now telling, I went to Switzerland and I was trying to reach somewhere. Just on it and they were arguing. This one saying something, the other one saying something. And the whole argument was on and on and on, and people were so jittery. The vibrations were, all the children were shattered as if they were moving on a, wheel. You know, as if the wheel is rotating and the people are moving on the wheel. And so much shattered and everybody was shaking like that. So what sort of vibrations will be there? Children themselves were so upset. And the whole atmosphere was so beautiful. The nature was so beautiful. Nature was looking absolutely tired, fagged out, and dissatisfied. And the people were, I don't know what they were busy with. The brains were shooting off and they were all very, very speedy, extremely speedy. So what have they achieved? Are they happy? Has that rationality done any good to them? Nobody seems to be happy in that affluent country, where rationality is the way they look at things. And even when we talk of selfishness, I said unless and until you discover yourself, how can you be selfish? You can be only shellfish, but you cannot be selfish. See, in Sanskrit the word is swartha. For selfishness is the word swartha. Swartha means swa means yourself, your being. And artha means the meaning. If you know the meaning of yourself, then it is swartha. But how many know? If there is an undercurrent working out, if there is something that is working it out, then it would be a folly not to expose ourselves to that and to understand our own value, our own place in this universe, and our own meaning. Why are we here? So rationality, if it is based on wisdom, then you can see very clearly that it is wise to wait and see. But wisdom is only possible if you understand the limitations of rationality. If you are too much identified with rationality, then wisdom becomes dimmer and dimmer. But we have to know ourselves. That's very important. We are not to be guided by the tricks of people who just want to make money or make some sort of a reputation, or I don't know what they want to make out of themselves. But what we have to do is to really know ourselves. Unless and until you know yourself, you are not to believe anything. But that doesn't mean by any chance that you close yourself. Best way to know this house is to come inside this house. In the same way, to know yourself is to enter into your own being. Now, how can you enter into your own being? Which is the way. It's a typical human question. How? But I ask you a question. How does a seed grow? So, you say we don't know. Alright? So, you do not know how. Somebody has to know it. If you do not know, say I know. Why should you be angry with me for that? I say I know. Supposing I don't know. I don't know even how to make a candle. I don't know how to run this transistor. I don't know even if it is mine or it is Douglas's. I'm so bad at things. I don't know so many things. But if I know this, then why should you be angry for that? Or why should you feel hurt? But this hurts me. If you know, well and good, that's a very good thing. If you know, it's a very good thing. But if I know that, now what should I do about it? Should I not tell you how to do it? I should. But that hurts people very much. You will see that in the history of all the saints, of all the incarnations who came on this earth. It hurts them. What did Christ do? That he should have been crucified? So the question comes in, why do we feel hurt about it? Let us have. Do you feel hurt if somebody gives you a diamond? If your property is locked up, will you feel hurt if I tell you that this is your property and you use it? What is there to feel hurt about? Now, where does your rationality go when it comes to reality? At this time, the rationality should help you. And the way people judge it is also something very, very absurd. When you know yourself, as I say, you will know others also. Now, when you know yourself, how will you know yourself or not? You should feel yourself. You do not know what is within. By any chance, it happens to you that you start seeing what is within you. Seeing is feeling. Then you start feeling others. Their inner being and yours. Then still should you be doubting about it? So why should you doubt? What is the advantage? Say, people are getting drowned. And there's a boat. There's a boat of love. That is coming. Trying to save you. You can feel it. You can feel the boat. You can also get out of the water. You can feel that you are out of the water for the time being. Again you jump back. Now what you should believe into is the boat. If you don't believe into the boat, how will you have a stronger grip? This is the problem. This is the problem of the Western mind. You have to face it. It's not the problem of the Eastern mind so much. They have other problems. They have other terrible problems. But we forget about them. We discuss about our own problems here in this country and around, in all the Western people who have achieved affluence through effort, as they take it, who believe in science. Because whatever you see today in this room is not everything. I can prove it to you just now. If you bring a television set, you can see in that those pictures are also here. Otherwise, how are you getting it? They are in the atmosphere. You are sitting down here. You can't hear any music. But if you bring a radio, I can prove it to you that music exists here also. You have to just check. All kinds of music from all over the world. If you have really a very sensitive radio, extremely sensitive, you can catch the music from Timbuktu also. Do we realize that? Even as your awareness is, you have increased it through all these various methods. So, we have to understand that whatever we know through this human manifestation, whatever we are, is not complete, is not perfect, is not yet that level. If this could be understood through your rationality, rationality has done its job. But even that much is not possible. Then it's going to be difficult. This understanding about yourself has to grow. This, of course, we do feel, and we really do not understand ourselves and our fellow beings. We know that. We are sure of that. We are quite sure of that. And that's why we are confused. a method by which you can clear these points. And if it works and clicks in you, then you have to believe into it. That is what is called as faith, and not the blind faith. Why should there be two words like blind faith and faith? If faith means blindness, then there should not be two words. That means there is something like blind faith and there is something like faith. Even in Sanskrit language we have one called as Andhashraddha, another as Shraddha. So the faith starts after the experience. And we come to a point now that we all should have the experience of the self to begin with. Then we have to believe into it. And through that faith, we have to go into it. Rationality also has faith. Otherwise, rationality cannot exist. Perhaps we do not know how we work out our rationality. Supposing you are going by a car and you say, I have no faith in the way the car moves. You get into the car. Then you know the car moves. Yes, it does take you to a particular place. And you have faith in that. I mean, at every step you have faith. Otherwise, what is faith? It's nothing but your experiences which you have seen. And the rationality is the one that accepts that faith and proceeds further. In everything that you do out of rationality, you do not go further unless and until you have faith in what you are doing is correct. You have to believe into it. Otherwise, you cannot exercise your rationality. Do you follow this point? But by no chance it means blind faith, which is another madness, as I have told. There is a very easy method for people who are blind, just to open their eyes. But those people who are blind and believe that they can see everything, it's an impossibility. Those who say we are blindly following something, then you can say, all right, if you are blindly following, we'll show you where you are going. You can hold their hand and put them on the right track and can open their eyes. And they may be very much willing to open their eyes. But what about people who are blind but think that they can see everything and can analyze everything and can rationalize it? They are more difficult. So we have to bring our rationality to a point that so far we have not been able to achieve. Let us have it. Once you say that, it works out. In some people, I have seen SahajaYoga works wonders, works very fast. They jump into it much more faster than others. Some of them really go very deep into it and they settle down there. In some people, it works very slowly. In some people, they think they have gone very deep, but they come out very fast. So one has to know it is for your own good. It is for your own selfishness, because that goes into our rationality. something is for our selfishness, we understand it better. But it is 100% it is for your selfishness. And for the selfishness of the whole of which you are a part and one. It is the method of love of God. Because God loves you, He has done all this. He wants to entertain. He wants you to grow big, to mature, and then to have the beauty of His own creation completely enjoyed by you. It's all His love. His love is working out. His power to love is a living energy that does it. How can it harm you? We talk of love, talk of universal life. We talk of universal organizations also. We have so many organizations which are universal. They talk of big things. I've met so many of these people also. But there is no love. Love is the universal energy. Love is the universal thing that exists. It is so pure. It's so purifying. It's so joy-giving. But we have to have faith in that. And not in ourselves as long as we are in imperfect condition. When we perfect ourselves, then you will know that you are nothing but instruments of love. God wants to use you for His love. He wants to express His love to you. And He wants His love to flow through you so that it goes to others. And He wants you to make so beautiful that you become absolutely sensitive to the beauty of love. This is the new dimension that He wants you to enter into, and that is what is the kingdom of God. So if you could put down your mind a little bit and tell Him not to be so jittery, it will work. You have depended on a horse which has been playing around with you. It will become your friend and it is going to look after you. It has made you miserable sometimes, it has made you elated, it has also made you egocentric and egoistical in a very subtle way, which you do not know. And it has been playing around with you and has been keeping you away from reality because it is testing. It is your friend. The moment it knows that you want that, the absolute, it settles down. This is SahajaYoga, is the power that is bestowed upon every human being to be united with that divine power, to be an instrument of the divine power. This is the ultimate of our evolution, which has to happen. Do you think God is going to leave it without being completed? If He is the Almighty, then He is going to do it. There's only one snag, that it is your freedom. God has made you free because to enter into His kingdom where complete freedom is to be enjoyed, you have to be there in your own freedom, not in bondage. So your freedom is there to choose between ego and wisdom. And then you have to enter into that area. is your own. Absolutely your own. Now, if you have any problem, you ask me question. You couldn't hear me there at the end, could you? Huh? You could? That's great. Must say. What is? Some questions should be there.
Too many.
Too many are there? I know. What's it?
I'm just new to SahajaYoga.
Yeah.
What should I be doing?
See, that's what I said. You are not to do anything about it. First, it's like the people are drowning themselves, say, an example I'm saying. And then they have to be saved. Now, who does that is a swimmer. Then you come to the shore and you learn to swim, the complete. When you know all that swimming, then you can help others. It is as simple as that. Now this, say, one is enlightened, but I have a candle which is not here. Just try to place it near that. Just stand. You are built in. Everything is there. You are computerized already. The computer is in. Only you have to be put to the main. What is?
Do you believe in Advaita Vedanta?
What is Vedanta?
Advaita Vedanta.
Who is this one? Come forward. Now, what does that matter? Whether I believe it or not? Tell me. Now, sit down. Come along, sit down. Now, whether I believe it or not, what does it matter? Tell me. See, why do you want to go into headaches? They are all headaches, actually, really.
Yes, but I couldn't think of another question to ask.
You see, the thing is, I believe, not only believe, but I know all of them are correct. Absolutely true. But you see, what has happened with human beings is, whatever is told to them, what they discover from their unconscious, they will make a dogma out of it and start fighting. Not understanding, because all of you, I would say those who look at it, all of them have only one eye, and that too partly open. So somebody sees this, somebody says that. Things that can be seen clearly only when you are fully open to this. Now you come in this room, for example, And the whole thing is all darkness. I can't see it. So I jump onto this table, say this is the thing. Then I say this picture is the thing. Then I say this light is the truth. It is like that. So whatever is discovered in Vedanta, though quite clear to me, is not clear. It's so simple. I'll tell you about. Recently, I asked them, why do they go for philanthropic work for Christianity? I just couldn't understand. I said, did Christ say so? Anywhere in the Bible? Because I have not read it. I haven't read Vedanta either. For your information. So I know what it is. So I said, did you say anywhere in the Bible is it written that there should be philanthropic work done by Christians? He said, no, but it happened once. See, when Mari Magdalene wanted to anoint him with some oil, Judas said, why should you do it? Why shouldn't you try to use this oil, sell it and make money and give it to the poor? Typical, philanthropic. So Christ said that poor are with you all the time, headaches, you see. But I am with you for a short time. He tried to emphasize the importance of divinity, of divine life. That is the important thing for Christians. But if this is the example for it, I mean, this is stupidity. So, if you go into the arguments and to the finding out of all the different Vedantic ideals and things like that, it will be another sort of a problem. But the best way to see the unity of it is to go to the point where you are united. Like now say, if do you believe in this flower? Then another will say, do you believe in that flower? No, I believe in all of them. How? Because if I am in the sap, I believe into all of them. So let us go to that point, which is universally supplying knowledge to all of these branches. All right? If you reach there, then you'll be amazed to see how this diversity has such a unity. You have to go to that unifying factor to see these so-called diverse things having the same unifying power. All right? You have read Vedanta?
No. In India, one can't
get out of it.
very much.
Oh, horrible people in that country. Oh, you don't know. They're mad. Real mad. That's just it. Don't go near them.
Rakshas.
Asuras. They are Rakshasas. Real Rakshasas, some of them are. Imagine they challenged Adi Shankaracharya. When he wrote his Viveka Chudamani, they got after his life. So he gave up everything. He said, all right, I will just sing the praise of the mother. Finish. I'm not going to stop. He was a very clever man, though. How are you? All right. That's it. They dance before the inward eye. Right? This is the bliss of solitude. What a beautiful thing. The Wordsworth was a realized poet. You have so many of them here. So this is the problem. You can't just get out of it. If you go to India, there's a lot of muck around. But you don't go from the back side. That's the problem. You go from the front side. And to enter into India is through the villages, not through these cities. Even Banaras, horrid, never go near it. All horrid people live there. Gundas. And the Rakshasas and the horrible, terrible people, they are all to be thrown away. They are being already punished by the river Ganges. And the Yamuna has punished them. Horrible people. cheats. There are
They
two
all want
words.
paisa. They
Huh?
all want paisa. They all talk
The
about paisa. the whole
paisa,
time.
paisa. Now,
Yes.
thank God there is somebody. Please record him. When I say that, people get very angry with me. When I tell them that all these pandas must be drowned into the Ganges. But why spoil the Ganges also? You can find some better place to drown them. But how are you impressed by them? Indians are not impressed by them. I'm surprised. How are you impressed by these horrible hypocrites?
Mataji, can I come in there? I'm not actually an Indian-born Indian. I'm an African Indian. I was born in Africa, but I know a lot about India. And when you say they are not impressed by it, like in Sankaracharya and
Shankaracharya they are, but not by these horrible gundas who live in the temples and things and sell hashish.
true, but when I was in Uganda, you see, any person who's been there, they reckon it's just great. Even though, like he says, paisa, wherever you go, money is there. And a lot of us, the younger ones who have seen all this, and have heard about it, are not totally impressed by it. From what I've heard about you, I'm really impressed. And I also have heard about a lot of other swamis and all that. Like, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
One better than the other. Don't take their names. They are horrible. One better than the other. I went to East Africa for your information, and I saw horrible things happening there too.
Right. Yeah.
You see, all kinds of these horrible people are being exported from India. You see, because they don't need any license for exporting or importing. And they very nicely go and settle down. In East Africa, there might be hundreds of these thugs sitting down there and doing puja, this, that, and collecting all kinds of people around and exploiting them. And East Africans are very traditional people. You see, they went there long time back. They are still keeping up the traditions and this. And then they took me to a temple there. And in the temple, when I was there, they all were doing hoo, 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 hoo. All were possessed in my presence. They all got possessed. And so, what sort of a temple is this one? And it was a Kali's temple, just imagine. I said, these wretched Tantrikas, from where have they come? And I asked him, who is the one? Who is your guru? The guru had run away. You see, that day he was not there. So I asked him nicely, and I told these ladies that throw him away. This is what it is, and you are all the. There's so much of black magic, this, that going on in that East Africa. It's, every third person was possessed. Horrible things were happening. And maybe in Uganda also, and you have such a horrible, this Rakshasa they are living now, thank God it's finished. And all these people were so much impressed by these Pandits and Pandas coming from there. I know it is, you are right there, absolutely right. But you go and see what I told. And when I was in East Africa, I told all of them, even these Jainis and all of them. And I shouted at them and I said, you will go, all of you, to hell. And they were so much frightened. They said, what are you saying, mother? I said, all this will fall down in no time. All these temples and all this. But here also the same thing. I find my child, it's nowhere an exception, except it is very clever here and it is very crude there. But also here the same.
Mother, I had the same feeling when I was in Brazil. They worship together Mary and black magic. And I wondered, and they wanted to talk about these things to me. And they stopped because I thought about your name. And they thought to speak about it.
Very true. You see, this is what it is. Without self-realization, you cannot understand God. Without self-realization, you can even worship a demon or a mammon, thinking that he is God. That's why you must have self-realization. That is the only way you are going to know that. One small thing we people do not understand. How can you purchase God? How can you pay for God? In East Africa, I looked, it was so people were mad, you don't know. And my host himself, his wife was so sick. She was so sick. She was mentally so upset, and she was getting into fits and things like that. But we had to do something about it. And I told her that this is all wrong. You throw away all these people. Same in Uganda. This is all money-making propositions. But you are very complete. You see, there is a fashion now in East Africa. Who is your guru? Everybody must have a tail here. They must have a guru. Why must you have a guru? I can't understand. When you do not know whether he is a guru or he is a Rakshasa.
Well, you see, when I mention that sort of thing, they tell me that when I talk about you to them, it's the same thing. They say, well, if she's to you so much, he is to me just as much, you see.
But what have you gained? Is the point you should ask them. All right? You should say that. What has he given you? You have given him money. You have given him fruits. You have given him clothes. You have done everything. What has he given you? He is suffering from all kinds of diseases. What has he given? You see, if he is at a higher position, you should get something from that, isn't it? What has he given you? But when you come to SahajaYoga, what happens to you? You are physically, mentally, emotionally, you are put right. Spiritually, you start feeling the vibrations. You can cure people. You know there are many SahajaYogis who have cured people. You can cure cancer. That is one-sided. Only the person who can give is the good, not the one who can take. That's why it's called as Guru. If they say so, you should ask, what have you achieved? Only you have cleared out with your purses, given away all that you possessed. Now you have become a beggar. That's what you have achieved. They are possessed by these people. That's why they can't see. They can't see. They possess you. That's why you cannot see. In India, we had a cult called, even today it is, after Vallabhacharya. They are called as Vaishnavas and all that. I don't know what to call them because Vallabhacharya himself was a realized soul. And he had 8 disciples who did not get realization. Very unlucky. And when they started following this Ashtachap Vaishnava Dharma, in this, you know what they had? You will be shocked if I tell you. The head priest was supposed to enjoy the bride on the first night. Any bride. And he was invited to any wedding, anywhere in India. A person had to spend lakhs of rupees. And this is what the blessing from the Guru they went for. Now what do you say to such silly, stupid, useless, what should I call them? No, I don't know many bad words. But what do you say to such stupid people? You see, that's why we need intelligent people for SahajaYoga to understand. But not intellectuals. There's a difference between them. You should be intelligent. Intellectuals are the people who just enjoy the mental feats, like circus. They are nowhere, they are just moving in the same. They reach nowhere. Yes, somersaults, you see, some somersaults they want to have. But this is very true. This kind of a fanaticism is there. But you young people can fight it out. That's why you are born at this time and you are young. You have to tell them that this is wrong. I'm very also, I must say, in East Africa, within 8 days' time, there was such a change, tremendous change came. And they were quite elderly people also. Even I went to actually the Jainis had a ring map program, then I gave them a right and left there all about Jainism and about Mahavira. I told them, what are you doing? This is not Jainism. Not a word. They started thinking about it. So it is true, they are like that. It's a sad thing. But there is a trick in SahajaYoga by which you can turn them around. I will tell you later. There are lots of tricks by which we can make these people come around. Oh, I have worked out lots of permutations and combinations. Only thing you must decide to learn all these tricks. For fanatics also we can work it out. Only thing they should know that they have not achieved anything. Then it works out. They know when they get sick. Also, there is one society in India which they invited me to address. The name is Servants of God. I said, all right. As soon as I reached there, they came out with their problems, mostly physical. They said, this is wrong with us, mother, you must cure this. I said, now what kind of servants of God are these? All of them are sick people. Now what have I to do with them? But they realized, because of sickness, that if we were really servants of God and we really serving God, then He should keep us fit. That means something is wrong. So all those who have been to India before getting realization, raise your hands, I wanted to see. Before getting realization. Went to India. Dinesh is an Indian. You have been to India before getting realization. You went down.
Got realization.
Exactly. So you are one of them. Now who else? You have been there too. You better write down all the nonsense of Indians. Alright? Next book we have to publish. May God bless. May God bless. You write it down. All your experiences, because after realization you will forgive them and you will not even remember. So you better write it down. You, the way they have lynched you and troubled you. Very important. See? You have to inform the government of India about it. They are busy.
I'm going to tell them about the Pondicherry ashram. I won't forgive them for the Pondicherry ashram. I got beaten up by the gym master there. I'm not going to forgive them for that.
All right. I'm with you for that.
Yes.
You please write it down.
You know, all that thing is a tax dodge. The whole thing is run by
That's good. Now will you please write it down for me and give it in writing and get more
I
things.
certainly will. I'll tell you the whole story. You know, the gym master, he was making love to his girlfriend in the mother's shrine, and
She is not a mother.
What?
She is not a mother.
No, she's awful, Raksha. Look at her. Absolute terrible Asura.
That's it. Thank God there's somebody else talking like that.
I think
Horrible people, one better
and
than the other.
Rajneesh, he's another.
Good.
Complete charm.
Good. You see, this Rajneesh has paid a woman to write about against me. See?
Oh, has he? Oh, well, if he does that,
He's done it.
I'll do the whole dope against him.
And she came forth, she couldn't find anything against me, and whatever she wrote was all wrong. You see, whatever she wrote was, I never do these things. Like she said, I had eaten pan, I never eat pan, and all sorts of things. And I was wearing a jade, I never had a jade, and all kinds of things she's written about me. All so then I think the Maya played on her. I'm very happy that somebody is talking.
Mataji, I think you and me ought to get together and get Rajneesh, because he's Mahishasura.
He is more, he is a Ravana. He is a Ravana. He is a Ravana. You see, Mahishasura is the other one. You see, the one who is after Mahishasura has now come to London. He is coming tomorrow to see me. He is this Mahishasura, as you know, is this Asatya Baba. Asatya Baba. You don't know him?
Asatya Baba?
They are called as Satya Baba, but he is Asatya.
Sai Baba?
Sai. Not the old one, the new one. You see, our ex-Prime Minister, Mr. Gulzari Lal, you see, he spoke very well about SahajaYoga, this thing and that. But next day, somebody wrote to him that you praised her such a lot and you did all this. But do you know one thing about her? She criticizes all the people, even like Satya Sai Baba, and even like that another woman, what's her name? That philanthropic horrible woman. Anandmai, and all those people, you see. So, he was telling me, but mother, must you criticize? But I said, did I ever criticize to you? He said, not to me, but people say, your disciples did shout and said, oh, she's Rakshasin and he's a Rakshasa. I said, they must be the one who have been beaten up by them, so they must have said it with that loudness. But he said, what do you say? I said, they are correct. Are they? Yes, I said, they are correct. What they are saying is correct. You don't understand. So, I said, now, wait a minute. There's one gentleman who's come just now to meet me, and you must talk to him. So, this one was Mr. Bharani. You must... He's another interesting person, you know. Mr. Bharani. He was headlong with this fellow. He was the co-pilot of the whole scheme in Delhi. Where if you had gone when this horrible Rakshasa was there, all the traffic jams, nobody could go anywhere. Never such a population gathered for this great Rakshasa. And then this fellow, this Bharani, was the main person behind the whole show. He spent lakhs and lakhs of rupees on him and he did all that. And then, what happened? That this fellow told his wife that you should become a sannyasini. You must give up your husband. You must come and stay with me. And it is not good to be with your husband. He managed to take all the money and the property she had with her, all ornaments and everything. And she went down to his ashram. Now this Bharani has now realized that he is being befooled. So he came to see me first day. He was in a terrible anger. And he said, that mother, if you don't mind, I want to tell you something. I said, you see, I will mind if you say something which is not decent, because be careful about me. You must not say indecent things to me. He said, no, not indecent to you, mother, but I want to tell you something about someone whom people regard as a guru. I said, all right, you tell me. I know about you, you are going to tell. So I told him, it is Asatya Baba. He said, how do you know? I said, I can see what you are catching from your chakras that he has affected you. So, then he told me he's writing a book now about Asatya Baba and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. So I told him that you come and see me at such and such a point. That time this ex-Prime Minister of India was talking to me. So I said, now you talk to Mr. Bharani. So I solved the problem, both of you. And Mr. Bharani was on that subject and he told me how horrible. They're very kind. But they have done their job. They have reached your money. They are settled very nicely now. They are gathering new people. Now you have to want the new people. All of you have to talk about it and write about it and take the responsibility. I've been saying this. I said this in 1970.
If we write about it, the Rakshasas will come back at us, you know.
No, but you have to be careful. You have to be careful.
Very strong asuras, you know, some of these Russians, Tibetan asuras, you know, there's too many of those around.
All sorts of lamas.
Horrible!
Horrible! Yes, someone who's
You should have seen the one who came last week.
But why do you garden them? Why don't you beat them with shoes?
They've got Maha cities, you know, they don't do nothing. They're fucking, they're very tough, that the Tibetans. You don't want to mess with them, because they're the people who helped Hitler, they're helping the Russians now.
Correct.
They're horrible.
Have you read
really
the book written on me? Do you haven't got the book yet. Did you?
Yeah,
Yes.
You better ask him to read the book. He will know quite a lot. We have tried to do
The
it.
Advent,
Advent.
a beautiful picture.
Picture is beautiful, and you see inside also. We have exposed all of them one by one. But in that, you see, we have to be careful. Hello, Peggy. Hello. We have to be careful about them because, there's a law which says we should not condemn them. They can condemn us, but we cannot. But still you can say about your own experiences. This has happened. You should gather people around. But now you are already looted.
Looted
Yes, you are already being looted by these.
by these asuras.
Of
these
course.
Tibetans.
Of course, Tibetans are the worst of all.
I think so. But I mean, look, this is England.
But there is one Englishman also here. You have got very nicely settled down in England.
Which one?
What's his name?
Up in Sunny Lane. You know that
No, what's his name?
Yeah.
Ya. Mr. Ya.
Yeah.
You don't know him? Oh, he's sending his emissaries to me. You don't know him?
No.
He is an Englishman. He has taken a tip.
There was an Englishman. There's another Englishman who was saying something about us the other day.
Who?
Someone called Benjamin Krem.
Where is he?
He does a strange thing whereby they hold a wire and they say that they get in touch with Jesus.
With the wire.
Yeah.
Was Christ made of
Well,
wire or
we
electricity?
raised some of his kundalini, and he started saying, "Oh, this is very dangerous," and trying to put us off.
What's his name, you said?
Benjamin Cream
Green.
or Krem,
Graham.
C-R-E-M-E. That's right.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Oh, they have a pyramid. Oh, yes, I've seen that before.
It was not very lucky because I was standing just in front of it, and your picture was just faced this guru, so I think it was not very lucky.
And he started shaking. What happened?
No, a person came and we raised their kundalini, and he started saying, "Oh, this is very dangerous. I'm surprised they're allowed to do it," and this sort of business.
But he ran away. He disappeared for the rest of the
And
afternoon.
everybody wondered what we were doing. You see, the people who were with him sort of wondered what we were doing, and we started said something to him.
I think that time has come. Already, the way you are doing it. Do that emphatically. Do that emphatically. Do this condemning them with that emphasis. But what happens after realization? You become mild.
You lose interest in them.
No, but you have to think of others. You see, there are so many who are going to be lost. So many are going to be really freezed out. Be careful. You have to do that. For others, you have to do it. Then I have some water around. Who told me?
some area.
Rather cool.
Window.
Pull the curtains.
I think it has to be done from outside, actually.
It would be better if you pull the curtains because if the light should be on my face. Oh God. How many people you have been to my chat? What's your name? You, I'm asking you.
Simon.
Now, I'm not really. I'm doing Liberal Party politics. I don't know them all. I've been to millions.
Really?
I've been all across India. I've found the Dharma and lost it, and found it again and lost it again. And I looked for the heavenly teacher, Master Kung Fu Tse, known as Lao Tzu or Confucius. And I found the man of the Dharma. I found Gopal Swami, and then I lost him again. You see, because this Rakshasa, Digamba Sadhu, came up, and after Gopal Swami had died, I didn't get to his deathbed, so he died, and I wasn't there, and he didn't pass on the Dharma and the Sanatana Dharma, and so I went all wild, and
This Digambara should be beaten up.
he took me out on the hill for 3 nights, said mantras over me, and brought down all this Shakti. And, there's this Anahata Chakra before, it was after Gopal Swami sang this song, It went like that, you see, right up. Then after the Digamba said all his mantras, it's like a spike through the Anahata Chakra. It's like black in the middle of the, and a bit of the Manipura, like that. That's what he's done. That's Digambas for you. That's the Jinas.
Horrible.
Horrible. That's Asura. That's real Asura.
They talk of vegetarianism. This is what they do. Digamba.
Ah.
Himself.
Hum shaitan. Shaitan. Tum jao kira tu les. Hum shaitan.
Correct?
Ah.
Who did Digambara say?
Ah.
Horrible. The funniest sight. Digambara. I confronted them when I was very young. I should say I was just married, and they had invited my husband to inaugurate some sort of a thing, I don't know, some sort of a temple or something. And there were about 40 of these Digambaras. But Dig means directions, you see, and direction, and Ambar means the cloth. So they have no clothes. Directions are their clothes. Imagine all these horrible people sitting on a stage, and we both were sitting in front of them. And they were scratching themselves, and horrible people. I looked at them ghastly. 40 of them. You see? My husband looked at me and said, what is this sight? I said, I don't know. This is the first time I'm facing this horrible dirty people. I don't know what to call them. And everybody was very much surrendered to them. After 10 minutes, we just couldn't manage. I came out and I was vomiting and vomiting and vomiting. So horrible. So now you are in politics. That's another nonsense.
Not at all. I'd never admit that. We want a Liberal Party government.
Oh, that's good. I'm with them.
That's good.
I'm with
I can
them.
take more
Yes, I'm with them. But you see, we have to enter politics after some time, perhaps, maybe. Maybe we may have to be if we are really liberated, in the sense that if we achieve that, then there's no harm in becoming that. But just now, let us concentrate on assuming our own powers, and then only we have to fight it out. Because, even our laws are not such. Now, we have in India many justices, chief justices who are surgeons. But there are no laws so far prohibiting any black magic in India. Because they do not believe in the existence of black magic in India. Can you imagine that? This is thanks to our Lord Macaulay, who went to India and who tried to help us with our laws, you see. So, like people in England, they did not believe in any laws like that. So they said, we know that there is black magic and these people are working on black magic. We cannot do anything about it. And sometimes these laws are very handy for these horrible black magicians. Like Rajneesh, they cannot catch. They cannot catch all these people. And even the CBI chief who had come and who is a SahajaYogi, he says, I find it very difficult to catch them. So you can imagine how terrible it is. First of all, let us assume ourselves, let us become ourselves, let us feel ourselves, let us know our own powers, and then we can fight them out much better than we can do it this way. Because you have to pass certain laws now. You have to bring the attention of the people to this dimension, which is not known to them, and they think this is unknown, and that's why it is something divine. This is the confusion which we have to clear up. We have to have more SahajaYogis. So how many of you are not yet realized? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4. That's very easy. There, everybody is realized at the back. No? Who else is not? Do come up. Come here. In front. Just come in front.
From Paris.
Sako from
Paris.
Paris. Oh, I see.
He came to the ashram yesterday.
He came to the ashram. You see, you are from otherwise from Mauritius.
No, from Africa, West Africa,
West,
Mali.
what part? What?
Mali, near Algeria.
Oh, I see. We have an Algerian here. Yes, we have an Algerian. Oh, good. We have from Mauritius also. We had met people from Mauritius. Don't you think so? I can get my sweater also. It's quite cold at the back. Or should I sit that side? Would be better. To melt my vibrations better. Can you bring? But what are these vibrations? What you have got is something so great that you cannot achieve. So there must be something in SahajaYoga that you have got. Now, what is so special about them? What happens to you after receiving realization? What you can work it out? How it works? How it works within you? You first work on these things. Do not divert your attention to other things. First of all, you settle down with it seriously and find out what are these vibrations. How are they helping you? How are they helping others? What changes are coming within you? You should go that way. But in case you find it absolute transformation within you, you find it's absolute joy and happiness within you, then you don't have to think about these things. But it is so funny that the human mind doesn't stop easily. See, it will come back. It will put doubts into it. So what? You've got vibrations, so what? All sorts of things will be there. One of the reasons why in the West we do not also understand about these vibrations because it is not talked about. People do not know, but Indians know it. So there is no argument on this part. Once they get the vibration, they know it means something. But here we do not know. So we do not know what they are. Now, what are these vibrations and how they come to us? This is to be understood in full way, not in a haphazard. So, like a seeker, you must humble down yourself and now see for yourself how these vibrations work out, how you can raise the kundalini, how can you give realization to others, how you can work it out. So, for this, you have to come to different programs we have. Settle down with yourself. Settle down these vibrations within you, how to maneuver them, how to decode them, what means what, these vibrations, what finger means what. Then you have to verify it and find out if it is true or not. Work on other people, and that's how it is going to settle. Because in this country, I have seen that. We give realization to many. Now I become very cautious. Then what happens? They go home. Then it starts working in their mind, the whole thing. Because still the mind is not steady, and the ego, she might come up and give you some ideas, or a super ego might come and give you some ideas. And what happens that you now lose vibrations after that. Once you lose the vibrations, then you cannot understand. The first thing is to steady these vibrations. That is the most important. But people just do not steady it, and then they are very upset. I would advise you that you should go through the. Have you got those books and pamphlets? But now you can feel the vibrations of others also. From everywhere you won't get vibrations. But say now, just now, if you see his vibrations, I mean, I would not like you to see, but if you see his vibrations, you will know that he has got lots of problems within himself. And these problems can show on the vibrations. You can see on your chakra and things like that. Like the fellow who had come here, he too had the problem. Now he has problems because of his what's his name? Because of tear. But his Sushamna has opened out, but still his Vishuddhi is catching. That's why his ear is not all right. If I work on his Vishuddhi, then he will start feeling the vibrations. But otherwise he's realized. You can see on his head. You can see on your head also. Now see on your head who have got realization. Do you feel the cool coming out of it? Just feel it. Come on, feel it here. Do you feel something cool coming out? Or some hot? Are you all right?
Nabi.
Huh?
Father's one.
She has Nabi and heart too.
Yeah, but Nabi's
See,
very
first
strong.
heart must be put all right. Because what happens, the Kundalini is sucked in from the heart. I mean, from the heart the force is given. So the connection, if it is established with the heart, then there is no problem. First heart, then Nabi. See, when it reaches that stage of heart, you should attend to heart first, and then to the Nabi. Sort of it's quite there.
Yes, the heart is the center.
After all, that is the alarming thing. Now, Tamil Nadu better.
Yes, but I can't feel much different.
But how are you feeling inside your head?
Yeah,
Just
the
see,
head
are you
full.
thinking?
No?
No? There's no thought?
Oh no, there's thoughts. I was thinking about my district.
Huh?
I was thinking about a family in St. John's Wood.
About who?
About some people he knows in St. John's Wood.
All right. Now, you just tell yourself, I'm not going to think. Now, turn down. You turn down. All right? You try one thing. You come round and sit here. And you just say, without thinking, you see my face. All right? Without thinking. Not to think anything. Just see. You have to try something. Now, you put your hands there. All of you. Now, you tell me if there is any burning or anything in any finger. Nothing yet. Huh? Both are now. Correct. Now, just see. You will know. Gradually. You see, this is the sensitivity one has to develop. Right? Gradually. Because just now you are so enamored, so much of flow is there that you are not feeling it. Are you feeling it? Correct. From there you can feel it. Correct. Now the heart is feeling it. Because you see, when it throws on the heart, you have to be careful. That works on the existence. That can be very temporary, but must be released first.
So in a very deep heart
No. You see, it starts when the thing reaches a certain height. You see, any chakra, it will show the heart. Naturally. Takes on the existence. No. Are you getting it? Okay, now?
I can't feel any difference. I
No,
don't
it's
know.
all right. But are you feeling better in the head?
Oh yeah. I'm
That's the
cooler.
main. Yes, that's all. Going down your feet, all right? I've done too much of reading. What's your age?
27.
And you have read so much?
Yeah. I said today, how can I read the Liberal Party manifesto? No, I really don't. I'm sick.
Oh, they have big manifestos. Not one, but three of them you have to understand. Keep out of it for the time being, all right? Now, is it better? Good? Feeling better? Now, can you feel anything, any one of you?
Well, I seem to feel some sort of burning sensation in my thumb. But
Thumb, in your thumb. All right. Now, let's keep it that. Huh? Now, what do you feel? Nothing. All right. Just now, he's so much opened up. Now, what about you? Let's see. In this finger. Now. There. All right. So now you have the thumb, and you don't feel anything. No. Then he feels on this finger. All right. So who else is there? What about you?